welcome to the inaugural episode of Barrel Banter, where we'll be talking about whiskey, bourbon, and any other nonsensical items that come to our mind. My name's Chris. I am the video production manager here at the agency.
And I'm Craig, the photographer and age before beauty, especially with these guys.
I'm John. I'm the senior art director. I've been here for about 16 years. Been a whiskey enthusiast for at least 15 of those.
15. I thought it was 25. Anyways, I'm Caleb. I'm the digital marketing director here at the agency, and I'm in charge of basically websites, social media, anything that has to do with the computer and a digital platform. I take care of that for us and the clients.
So we figured this is kind of something that we do each week. We all just kind of gather around after usually a Thursday or Friday. We crack open a bottle of whiskey, usually whiskey, bourbon, sometimes it's been tequila. You guys have done gin in the past. Mm-hmm. Vodka sometimes here and there. And just kind of hang out.
Moonshine.
So figured why not set up in the studio here, put a little production value behind it, and hit record and see what happens.
Yep.
No, I noticed Caleb shook his head vigorously when you mentioned tequila.
What's
that all about?
Bad experiences.
That Tequila Monster?
Experiences, plural.
But anyways, John and I actually stopped by Bevmo earlier today, and for our first bottle, we decided to choose. Well, we didn't really choose. We kind of left it up to chance. We saw a couple bottles, and that we were kind of, hey, I've never tried that before. We laid them out on the floor, and then pulled out our phone and said, "Hey, Google, roll a die." And
Really?
Yep. That's how we picked our bottle.
How we picked it.
So
Picked 6 that I knew were on my mental running list, and let Google do the rest.
that's how we decided, to choose this bottle, which is I.W. Harper.
So if this was one of 6 on your list, then tell me why it was on your list.
I try to keep a mental running list of any bourbons, whiskeys, whatever that I've either heard about firsthand through someone or read about. Because I also like to read up, keep up on certain blogs and whatnot. So this was on my list.
Cool.
It's been on there for a while too. Give me a try it for any age.
Well, are you pleased with it? Is this the first time you've had it?
Yeah. The 6 I pulled were all ones that I've never had, and figure you guys hadn't either. So
I haven't had this one. It's a little harsh.
You think so? I thought it was okay.
it's got some.
It's got a little bit of a heat to it, a little alcohol heat.
Yeah, I do have a little burn on the tongue.
I don't know if it's only 82 proof.
Yeah.
It's for me. It's on the back end. Initially it's smooth, but then it kind of cuts at the end.
The flavor itself is fairly mellow.
Yeah.
It's not too crazy.
Right.
Oh, what do you think of it? A little burn?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't mind having more of it. So,
That's a good sign.
yeah. And then again, I've only been drinking whiskeys for 2-3 years. Pretty much when I started working here. Before it was just beer
that makes
for me.
sense.
Yeah. That
When did you start drinking whiskey?
when I started working here. Yeah.
Let's see. Legally?
When you were 21.
When I was 21.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yes.
So, more years than I'd like to think.
Mm-hmm.
And even some before that.
Yeah, ditto. Yeah.
So that's actually a good topic. What is your first memory of drinking whiskey? Do you have one?
Oh, God.
One of your first memorable moments.
Well, I'll start since, for me it's not that far back. Like
Ouch.
12 years, maybe. Anyways, I think the first time I ever had any type of whiskey, it was actually Jack Daniels, and it was a little travel size thing that I don't remember where it came from, but it was just laying around the house. I think it was like a gift basket or something, and it kind of had a bunch of that stuff in there. The chocolate liquor-filled ones, and then a little travel kit of small liquor bottles, vodka, and Jack Daniels was one of them. And as a kid, I kept hearing Jack and Coke. I'm like, Jack? must be pretty good. So me as a 12, 13-year-old, not knowing anything, haven't even touched alcohol before even seeing that thing, cracked it open and took a swig and instantly regretted it. So
Yeah.
Oh
No.
wow.
Just straight up, just
this-
from the bottle.
Yep, and as anyone knows, Jack isn't exactly something that you would voluntarily take straight, really.
Oh no. That reminds me. It's not my story. My brother, when we were kids, we were in Scotland visiting family, and we were at a castle checking things out. And there happened to be this, I guess it was a distillery there, who also made like a cream, like a whiskey cream that you'd add, almost like a Bailey's or something that you add to, make cocktails and whatnot,
Right.
or add to your
Coffee.
And he, as a kid, loved to drink the little cream containers. My parents would get coffee, and he would crack open the cream and drink them. So he saw these, all these little plastic cups that were filled with cream, and there was no lid. So he just,
Oh my
gosh, he
God.
must have been 8 or 9.
Oh,
Walked right up.
geez.
No one was watching this little kid walk up, and immediately, it's like bawling.
Yeah.
It still had some burn to it, and he had no idea what he was doing. He was expecting like, oh, cream, it's really refreshing.
Oh my
And-
gosh.
Yeah.
Now I think about it, probably like at Christmas, Tom and Jerry's, which is an really old school Christmas drink, hot drink.
What is it?
It's
Tom and Jerry.
complicated mixture of basically eggs and sugar and bourbon and hot water. It's
Interesting.
actually really good.
That sounds pretty good.
It's very technique driven. You got to mix sugar and egg yolks, then beat egg whites, then you mix all that together to make a batter. Then you add bourbon to that, then you add hot water to that.
Interesting.
I mean, it's like an old English. People we had a Tom and Jerry set that was like a bowl, a punch bowl, and then special cups. Mm-hmm. And it was just like a major thing. So probably that. It was like, give the kids a little bit and
Yeah.
they'll fall asleep and we can go on with our party.
That's cool.
No, this is definitely growing on me.
Yeah. I haven't been, like I said, I'm not a big drinker, but I'll drink whiskey, and up until the point where I started working here, I never really had much experience with it. But I will say one of the most memorable experiences I have had is in recent past when we did a blind whiskey taste test in the kitchen
yeah.
That's
a
right.
couple months back. It was
Yeah,
about
that
a
was
year ago.
almost a year ago.
Yeah, that was fun.
It was fun. We need to do it again.
Yeah, I can tell exactly when that was.
And it was, what was so memorable about it is that we had, what was it, 8 whiskeys?
At least.
8 whiskeys up there. Some were very small batch. Some were as common as Jim Beam.
Yeah.
And the result was that we all, I think mostly, we all agreed that this one whiskey was the tastiest. And it turned out that it happened to be a, 20-year-old bottle of Jim
Jim Beam
Right,
had been
right.
sitting in someone's kitchen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like
it'd
20
been
years.
There, it'd been there. It still had the label on the bottle from Long's
Long's
drugstore.
Yeah.
So any
Like
of you know what
$4.99
that
a
is,
bottle or something. Yeah.
Yeah, it was ridiculous,
crazy.
like $7
Yeah.
or something.
Oh, I don't think
Now,
that was
our
even there.
second runner-up was the most expensive, most small batch.
Which one was that?
And gosh,
Was
I
that the
wrote it
Widow
down, So I
Jane?
wouldn't have to remember it. It might have been the Widow
I
Jane.
think it was Widow Jane.
Yeah,
Uh,
that was tasty.
Yeah, so that was really interesting that it lost only to the mellowed out 20-year-old Jim Beam.
Who'd have thunk it?
Yeah. So we're just kind of chilling out here in the studio. This is our studio here at Brenlin. We do all sorts of things here, and
Photography,
this
video,
is digital marketing,
digital
graphic
marketing, you name it.
We do all that. Sometimes we get some really cool projects in
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, and to kind of just
between the 4 of us.
tease that a little bit, so as Caleb mentioned, we're in our photo video studio right now. This has been primarily the photography studio for the past decade, but as we've gotten broader with our capabilities, this has really become our main video studio as well. And a couple weeks ago, we finished a really cool video production for this company. I won't talk about, but it's kind of in the vein of Dollar Shave Club. So
Yeah, totally.
Lots, and almost kind of like Old Spice commercials where a lot of things are happening within the same scene.
A lot of humor.
Lots of humor, lots of tongue-in-cheek type of stuff, lots of background amusements to be had.
Yeah.
So we actually just finished editing that a couple days ago. So stick to our Facebook page in the next coming weeks. We hope to share that with everyone.
Or you know what? Let's take it a step further. Let's not say anything. Let's not post anything, and see if people can figure it out.
Figure what out?
Well,
What it is.
once it drops, and hopefully we'll have some kind of audience, and they can say, "Hey, is this the video we were talking about?" And
Yeah.
we say, "Yeah," or "No."
No.
Yeah, that was something cool that we worked on
Oh yeah,
recently.
that was definitely all hands on deck. A
It
lot
was,
of fun.
yeah. Probably one of the bigger productions we've done to date.
And I have to give you credit. You finished it in 2 days.
Yeah.
That's pretty
Yeah.
impressive. Yeah.
Yeah.
For as much as we did, it was a 2-shoot day,
Yep.
and we
2-day
managed
shoot.
to hit everything
Yeah.
within their mark. So
And pretty much dragged everybody in the shop in.
yeah,
I don't think anybody that works here didn't do something on that.
yeah.
Yeah.
At least for the more complicated scenes.
And we exhausted the entire office. I mean, we shot a lot here in the studio,
Yep.
but this is a pretty good sized facility, and we were shooting in hallways. We had a scene that took place in a bathroom, which was interesting to say the least.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah,
The front parking lot,
Parking
Right.
lot.
front door,
The studio was used 2 or 3 different ways.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's really
full
cool.
sets.
yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah, complete, tear downs and rebuilds.
We had a celebrity impersonator. I won't say who, but that one really came together
Yeah.
better than we probably could have hoped or expected.
Yeah, that was pretty great.
It's pretty hilarious. Well, before we wrap it up here, you guys have anything else you want to?
Closing
Well,
thoughts.
how are you all
Pitch
feeling
in?
about this now that we're toward the end? Here?
You know what? I'm on an empty stomach. I'm kind of on a diet, so I cut my calorie count to like nothing. So I'm
Bourbon for breakfast, bourbon for lunch, and a
Yeah,
sensible
so
dinner
it's-
of bourbon.
Liquid diet, right?
yeah,
That's my diet.
that's dinner right there. So I think it's pretty tasty overall. Like I said, I would have seconds if it wasn't for the fact that I had got to drive home in like
Yeah.
20 minutes. So
It's grown on me. That's
Yeah.
for sure. I really like it. I personally, I like to cut mine a little bit, water it down just a scotch, just to kind of cut the burn a little bit. And I think for something like this, that's for me personally, that's just what the
Well,
doctor
it
ordered.
definitely helps the flavor.
Yeah.
yeah, just
Yeah,
a little bit of
really
water.
A little bit of
Rise up
water, a
and-
little dilution.
Yeah.
It mellows out slightly.
Most whiskeys I drank, I throw in 1 cube.
Oh.
Does the job.
So what do you think?
I like it. It's I don't know, mellowed out for me.
Yeah, I'm liking it more
Not
now.
as harsh
I'm not.
as when we open the bottle.
I'm not getting quite the harsh as
Yeah,
now that it's
Yeah.
been out and diluted a little.
I would agree with that.
So
Yeah. There's very few whiskeys
Need a
that I'll
little
drink
air.
absolutely straight. I've got one at home, and I'm not bringing it into these bastards.
We know where you live.
They do too.
So hey, let's try this. Now that we've kind of all had our little taste and our opinions, let's start a new thing. Since this is the first episode, do you have a thumbs up or thumbs down for this bottle?
I'm gonna go up.
Yeah, I'll go up with this.
Thumbs up for this one. And again, it's I.W. Harper. It's Kentucky Straight Bourbon, bottled in Tennessee.
Yep. Cool. Well, thanks again for joining us for our first episode, and we'll see you next week. Cheers.
Cheers.